Narcissists don't like being challenged. They don't like being told that there's a possibility that they're wrong. And the biggest hope that a narcissist has, especially if they've discarded you, is that you will never find or create a loving, long-lasting relationship. Anybody that's been involved with a narcissist understands that when you're with them, it's literally soul-sucking. When you're around them, you literally cannot think straight. Your mind is warped because they live in a completely different fantasy land, and it is legitimately dangerous to be around these kinds of individuals. It is dangerous to be around them because while you are thinking that you're actually investing into this person, you're actually investing into the relationship, and whether it's a friend or whether it's an acquaintance or whatever you want to call it, this person was completely using you and taking advantage of you. And you were just too naive or blind to see it. And that's the most difficult part of acknowledging what actually went wrong with the narcissistic relationship, is seeing the part that you played in the whole shindig. Because narcissists can be completely and utterly callous, calculating, and cruel if you do not see the red flags before they actually occur in the situation. And I remember it was almost like this woman, and I'm not trying to make this a man or female video or male or female video or anything like that, but there was a woman that was a covert narcissist, and she was so upset with me when I moved on that she started to follow me around, and she started to text me even more just to keep me around. She would just want me there to just be there for her. And I had made it clear, this was when I was in my early 20s, because at one point I really thought that we had something special, right? And this is what I learned, is if you treat a woman special, she's bound to treat you like any other guy. And I say that not because I don't think that you should treat someone just as whatever, but especially as a man, if you put a woman on the pedestal, you say stuff like, oh, I would never want to make you sad, or I would never tell you no, or I would be scared to tell you no, or anything like that. You say shit like that to a woman, and especially a covert narcissist that's a female, man, you are in for some hurt, brother. You are in for some hurt. And even if you're a woman, I don't think it's necessary that you should always strive to please your man necessarily, but you should strive to serve him. And the reason that I say serve, I don't necessarily mean in the sense of being a slave. I don't know what people get so crazed about in modern day times, where a woman is supposed to be a helpmate or a helpmeet to the husband. But it's up to her to determine whether or not the man is capable of the leadership. And what makes narcissists so challenging, especially for women, is because a lot of the times narcissistic males come off as if they are the competent, confident individuals that can lead. But then in the end, it becomes too controlling, or a lot of women say abusive. And I don't take that stuff lightly. I don't take that stuff lightly at all, because if there actually is abuse involved, it can be catastrophic. But I'm under the impression that there's probably just as many females as there are males that are abusing in their relationships. Men just don't have the balls to come out and say it, and men don't have the balls to actually leave the relationship. Women can leave the relationship no problem. Women are savage sometimes. And that's not to say that all women are like that or all men are like that, because not all men are narcissists and not all females are narcissists. But it does seem like a lot of men cannot see narcissistic behaviors in women, because we want to believe as men that women are these innocent, pure creatures. And sometimes the most demonic women I've met have come across as an angel of light. And in the Bible, it says Satan will come first as an angel of light, right? And so it's really hard to tell sometimes, because this person will pretty much seem like they're everything you've been asking God for. They are everything that you need and more. And then all of a sudden, you start to show a little bit more interest. You start to make plans, or you start to make decisions that include them. And then all of a sudden, they start to back away, or they start to ghost off. And it's like, well, what just happened here? I thought we were going somewhere. Are we not going anywhere? Like, you're the one that told me you wanted more out of this, and now that I'm giving you more, you're pulling back. Like, what the hell's that all about? And so as a man, this might be confusing if you've never seen this kind of behavior before. But if you're an experienced man, you understand that sometimes there's two things that happen when a woman pulls away. Number one is she actually does need her space, and she actually does need to process her emotions on her own, because she's probably falling for you. She's probably falling in love. And I don't necessarily like to say falling in love for either males or females. I like to say we're rising in love together. But she might be developing those feelings of devotion or affection towards you. Then the other one is she's starting to play the game. And so you've got to have the proper discernment spiritually to see what's going on, because these narcissists out here, holy crap, they do not want you to be happy, okay? They do not want you to be secure in yourself. They do not want you to be living the life that you can be living. They want you stuck, okay? They don't want you progressing, because they want you dependent on them. Because if you are dependent on the narcissist, that means that they have everlasting supply, whether it's supply of attention, whether it's supply of financial dependence. There's some men that purposely put women into a state of financial dependence where women cannot leave. And I think that's terrible. And it's not necessarily the case that I think women should have to work, but if women want to work, that's fine. And I think that here's another thing I'll say. The best women that I've seen have come from very disciplined families, very devout families, not necessarily religious, but they're highly disciplined. And most oftentimes they are religious, but all the good women that I've seen have come from households where discipline and self-respect is highly valued, okay? Narcissists don't want you to be disciplined. They don't want you to be valued, okay? Some narcissists might be perfectionists, but that's actually an insecurity most of the time. A lot of the times, they're not going to be perfectionists because they actually want to be doing well at something. They only want to be doing well at something so that other people can see them doing well, okay? They are highly influenced by the way people perceive them. And so they're going to do everything to make sure that their image is going to stay intact. And whether that's through spiritual campaigns against your character, you know, their smear campaigns, you might call them, or sending the flying monkeys after you. This is where the people that are associated with the narcissist that don't see the narcissist games, or they have Stockholm syndrome, because some of the narcissists that I've seen, they put their, I don't necessarily like to say victims, but they put their victims in a state where it's almost like the victims have no choice but to be feeling devotion toward the narcissist, even though they know that it's wrong to do so. It's this Stockholm syndrome like thing where they start to justify the behaviors of the narcissist because they don't want to leave. And a lot of the men that I've seen out here, most of the weak men that have narcissistic like women in their life, the men usually resort to violence faster as well. The women will say stuff that is just simply not true. just to rile the man up so that he can lose his cool and lose his mind. And then the woman can come in to say, "Oh, honey, what are you doing? Why are you being so angry?" And the guy will be like, "Well, you said this happened." And she'll straight up gaslight. "Oh, no, I didn't say that." And the guy will be just slowly losing his marbles. And it's just beyond anything that I've ever seen in some of these situations. But even females will financially exploit men. And it's a man's job not to lead with money, by the way, because what's going to happen is you're going to attract women that are completely okay with you sending money their way. There was a time at the gym, probably 6 to 12 months ago, something like that. It was a while ago. And there was a lady at the gym, and she was bragging to this other guy about how there was this one guy that literally told her that he would be willing to pay her just to have a conversation with him. This woman was attractive, but I mean, she was she was not worth that, okay? Like I can see your spirit when I look into your eyes, right? I can see the darkness or the light that's there. And even though some of these women's eyes sparkle when they see you, it's almost like women, sometimes you have to be cautious, because sometimes women will seemingly have that sparkle in their eye, but what that is, it's like a glint of lustful desire to control you as a man. And it's almost like the more masculine that I've gotten over the years, the more I've had some women just completely be free and open and feminine in my presence and completely submissive, whereas other women, it really pisses them off and they really want to try to control me even more because I cannot be controlled. You can't tame the lion, bro. You cannot tame this. So they get upset that I can't be controlled and I can't be tamed. My life does not revolve around her vagina. So she thinks that she's beginning to get worthless because she's so used to being able to control men through sex. And when that's not a possibility with me, all of a sudden she's got a big problem on her hands. And now she brings out all the stops. There's literally been women married or in relationships that have tried to get with me just because I don't give them attention. It's the most ridiculous thing. And what are their husbands like? They're the docile, like, oh yeah, she can do what she wants. I can't really do anything without her permission. The fuck? Like, are you serious? That is not the kind of behavior that's going to get a good, feminine, submissive woman that wants to contribute to your purpose as a man. But first, you have to actually have a purpose as a man, okay? And so, if you have that mindset as a man, you're not going to get very far. You're just not going to get very far in life. And it's better to be alone than it is to be in that kind of toxic relationship where you are literally being treated as less than because you can be controlled by the vagina, okay? So don't be controlled by the oh man, just don't be controlled by the pink palace, okay? Just don't be controlled by it. And for the women, don't let what a man says be final for you to make a decision. I understand that women feel love here, men feel love in other areas, and it is what it is. That's how we connect, that's how we grow toward one another. Men's best weapon against women is words, whereas women's best weapon against man is sex. So the covert narcs, the overt narcs, whatever kind of narcissists that are out there, they know this. They will exploit it if you're too naive to think otherwise. And if you have fallen into the narcissistic traps, you've got to make sure that you're taking accountability and you're asking God for the proper discernment to move forward. So with that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful. And until next time, Peace be with you.